Hello everybody, it's Mrs. Pound and we are studying chapter 3.2 on plant activity from Purposeful Designs Life Science. The section we're going to look at today is section 321 on life processes of plants. So our objectives today will be to identify the raw materials and products of photosynthesis, summarize the role of leaves and chlorophyll in photosynthesis, and explain the process of transpiration. So we've talked about photosynthesis before. This is the process by which plants use light energy to make food. And we just took a look at this at the cellular level, but now we're going to take a look at this at the level of the plant. And so we're going to tie it together with different parts of the plant. And we talked about how a cell was like a factory. Well, a plant is like a factory as well. And God made our bodies to have many systems that work together and interact, and the same is true of plants. There are many different parts of plants that interact as well. Now also recall that there is chlorophyll in the plant cells. This is the green pigment in plants that captures light energy for photosynthesis. And remember, this is in the chloroplast, which is the cell organelle where photosynthesis takes place. The breaking down of molecules by cells into usable energy is cellular respiration. And remember, that takes place in the mitochondria. So the relationship between photosynthesis and cellular respiration is, in photosynthesis, glucose is produced from carbon dioxide and water in the presence of light and chlorophyll. The carbon dioxide enters the leaves through the stomata, those openings on the underside of a leaf that have guard cells that open and close it, and the water travels in the xylem from the roots. So it gets carbon dioxide from the stomata, it gets water from the roots. In cellular respiration, glucose is broken down by combining with oxygen. Carbon dioxide and water result. Energy is released to fuel cellular processes. And as you can see by the descriptions, the two processes are virtually the reverse of one another. There's a little bit that's different about each one, but they're pretty much the reverse. Now, plants that grow in shady areas with little sunlight tend to have dark green leaves. That's because they need more chlorophyll to collect the less light that is available. And gases pass in and out of leaves through the stomata, which are these structures here. And after the sugar is made, it is transported, remember, in the phloem to the rest of the plant. So the compound produced when plants combine sugars is starch. Sometimes the sugar needs stored, and so potatoes are very starchy because they are a storage area, and that starch is stored in the potatoes. And the reason for that is it's a larger molecule that cannot go across the cell membrane easily. The compound plants break down when they need energy is sugar, which is made in photosynthesis. And the sugar is used in cellular respiration. And sugar is a smaller molecule that is easily transported across the cell membrane. The movement of materials throughout a plant is called transport. And remember, the two types of tissues are phloem, which transports sugars from the leaves to the rest of the plant, and xylem, which transports water and minerals from the roots to the rest of the plant. Plants get water to move upward from the roots when gravity pulls things down by root pressure. This is where water enters roots faster than molecules leave, so it pushes the water upwards. So there is pressure in these roots from water pushing materials up the trunk of this tree. There's also something called capillary action. In narrow channels, the water molecules are attracted to the sides of the channel and it pulls the water up. So this is the reason for the meniscus on our graduated cylinder, because the water is attracted to the graduated cylinder and it clings to it. So that's how capillary action works. Transpiration of the leaves produces a negative pressure that pulls water up as those molecules leave. This is, it pulls it up. The molecules like to stick together. Not only do they stick to the xylem, but the molecules also stick together. When it sticks to the xylem, it's called adhesion, and when it sticks together, it's called cohesion. But that's why water flows. And transpiration is the loss of water vapor by plants through stomata. So we've seen that the stomata, they control the movement of gases in and out of the plant for photosynthesis, so they will stay open during the day for that. They also control water flow, so if there is not enough water, they will actually close to prevent more water loss as well. And they tend to close at night too, so that water is not lost since photosynthesis is not taking place. And the structure in leaves plants use to regulate how much moisture they lose through the transpiration is the stomata. So gas exchange and water control. So the structure needed by plants to make sugar, pull water up the stem, and photosynthesize is the leaf. So leaves are very important, and they have quite a few functions for the plant. So our objectives today were to identify the raw materials and products of photosynthesis, summarize the role of leaves and chlorophyll in photosynthesis, and explain the process of transpiration. So don't forget your 5 questions in your notes and keep watching this video to answer the questions at the end.